All right, everybody, one of my most anticipated films is now on 4K. We're talking about the 1974 cult classic horror film, The Wicker Man. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris. Thanks for stopping by and watching my 4K review for The Wicker Man. We're not talking about the Nick Cage one, unfortunately.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast!
If that ever comes out in 4K, maybe we will. I really like this movie, and I've had this for a couple days now, and typically my turnaround for videos is pretty fast. You know, I may get them a day early or something like that, but I really wanted to dive into this film. I really like it. A lot of the special features are great here, and the film as a whole is one of my favorite folk horror films ever. The music is incredible. I do have a bunch of notes of stuff that I do want to go over, but they actually do something cool in the beginning of this film. So when you put it on, I'm going to put it on screen now so you can see it, but they actually talk a little bit about the restoration process and what is missing and what they did to do that. So I'll let that be kind of there so you can kind of read over that and see what it is better than me reading it to you. This looks incredible, and I kept rewinding some scenes to be like, how does this look this good? And I know you're like, okay, well, it can't be that good. But for this film, in the state that it was in, they've done an incredible job with this restoration. You know, kudos to Studio Canal and to Lionsgate here, because this is one hell of a release this year. The packaging is great. The video is great. The audio, for what it is, sounds really good and is very authentic to the track and the original film. So I'm really happy there. Sometimes if there's multiple mixes where I'm like, okay, there's a 2.0 mono, but there's also this 5.1 mix, I typically choose the surround sound mix, but here there's only one. You get the mono mix and it just sounds so good. It does fill the room. Now granted, this may be just for my personal setup, but it definitely filled the room with sound, and because this is more of a folk music horror type thing, it did really work well for me. So let's show off this packaging. There is the Wicker Man. It's very reflective, so it can be hard to show off, but the steelbook should be better. This is a Best Buy exclusive Lionsgate steelbook, so you know it's incredible. And I think it just captures, you know, the vibe of the movie very well here. And it's just, it's one of the best steelbooks this year, if not the best steelbook this year. It might be the best steelbook this year in my personal opinion. I've gotten a bunch this year, but this one is just so good. I mean, it just captures that weird serenity that they've got on Summerisle. And I love this steelbook so much. This is one of my favorite releases. I know they did like a big edition that has like all of the editions of this movie, which there are 4, and I wrote that down because I did want to go over them. This is a must buy. Before we get to the end, I know I don't have a rating system. Some people are like, I should have a rating system. I just want to tell you if you should buy it or not, and kind of my personal opinion. I don't necessarily believe in rating scales, A to F, whatever. You know what you like, and I'm just here to tell you if I personally think the video and the audio quality is great and how the packaging is. So this is a standout release for me. One of my favorites this year. Don't skip this. Now, when I got this film, a friend of mine went to Best Buy and he's like, they only had one. He didn't order it. So this may be a more obscure release and harder to find. This isn't The Mist, so there aren't going to be these big numbers of this film. And like I said, a couple of people have told me that they've been won or it's not there at all. They've kind of had to order it. So I don't know how long this is going to be around. It may be one of those that's like here and then gone. So definitely get it now if you want to get it. That would be my advice to you. So let's get into these like versions of the film and what this version is on this disc. So this is the final cut of the movie, and that's Robert Hardy's final cut. So it is probably his preferred version of the film, but we do have 4. So we have the theatrical version, which came out originally at 88 minutes. Then we've got the director's cut at 96 minutes. Then we've got another director's cut at 100 minutes, which has some prologue stuff of Sergeant Howie on the mainland before. It does have a little bit of that stuff where he is in the church, kind of giving the sermon, but a lot of that other stuff is cut from this final cut. And then the final cut is 93 minutes total, which is the version you're going to get on this disc. And overall, I've seen the other director's cuts, and this kind of fixes the problem. There was some footage that was kind of like intercut into there and it didn't look great. This kind of trims out all the fat, rearranges a few things, and puts that footage back. They were able to pull all of that together and put it into this release. So it does look good, but again, you're gonna find some scenes that were probably interstitched in here that look worse than the rest of the film, but you can kind of look over that. I think we can agree on that. So that's kind of all the different cuts of the film and what you're getting here. This This does have Dolby Vision, so overall on the video front, it looks incredible like I was talking about in the beginning of the video. I don't have any problems with this. Like I said, there is some interstitial stuff that looks worse than the rest of the film, but all the grain is intact. The HDR is phenomenal. Like I said, the Dolby Vision is doing what it does. The blacks are black. Everything just looks phenomenal. I can't speak highly enough about this release. Just go buy it right now and watch it for yourself. And I do not think you're going to be disappointed if you are a fan of this film. On the special features front, we do have a couple notable things here. So I'm going to read them off to you because these are the ones that I watched that I really like that I would recommend you watch. And that's the revisiting the locations of the Wicker Man. So they kind of go to the different locations, which is pretty cool. The Wicker Man at 50. So this is kind of like a mini doc thing that I definitely recommend you should watch. We've got Robin Hardy's script, The Lost Ending, behind the scenes gallery, interview with Robin Hardy and Chris Reeve from 1979. Then we've got on the 4K as well, we've got Worshipping the Wicker Man, the music of the Wicker Man, and then we've got interview with Robin Hardy from 2013. So this is a jam-packed release. Some of these other ones we don't have new special features. We've got ported over special features, or they're just not that interesting. This is a film and a release that has a lot of special features that I really think are worth watching. Also, we haven't even talked about the fact that Christopher Lee is incredible in this movie. So if you really don't know what this movie is about, it's about a young girl that goes missing and there is a detective sent out to find out what happened to her. And that's all I'm gonna tell you. He goes to this weird, strange island and he starts to find things that are kind of a little weird. You know, he's a very religious man and this is kind of anti to that, which is why this film was made. A lot of teenagers and kids in the 60s, 70s were kind of rebelling against like conformed religion. And so this is kind of an outcry to that. And it does a really good job at kind of conveying that to you. This film has a sense of unease, kind of outlined through the whole film. And the music is a huge part of that. So the music is by Paul Giovanni and it is great and it sets the stage for that uneasiness, you know, especially when you've got later on in the film when Howie is like in his bedroom and the girl is kind of calling to him to come and she's like kind of using the wall and the music to kind of lure him in. It's just so well done. And Paul Giovanni's actually in this film. He's in one of the bar scenes singing one of the songs. So definitely look out for that. But overall, I love this movie. It's a highly recommend from me. If you've never watched this movie, this is the way to watch it. It's $21, so it's not like it's gonna break the bank, and you're gonna get an amazing steelbook and a piece of history for kind of that folk horror stuff. Again, I think this is the best in that genre. Ari Aster tried, like he does a lot, but I hate Hereditary. I think it's a bad movie. I don't want to get into Hereditary. I actually stopped my A24 horror series, which you may not even know that I did, because of Hereditary. Not Hereditary, I'm sorry, Midsommar. I'm so mad about Hereditary that I'm mistaking the movies, Midsommar, because I hated that movie. I hate Hereditary. I hate Beau is Afraid. I just don't like him as a director, but that's neither here nor there. Overall, this is a solid release. Every part of it is great. The movie's great. The packaging is great. The audio and the video are superb. Some of the best of the year. So, whew, man, again, I don't know that I can speak this highly of it. The last time I was this impressed was probably Pumpkinhead a few weeks ago, and I thought that was going to look good, and it did. But again, this just from the source material, from what we had to work with and to where we are now, this is the best that this film will ever look. That's all I've got. Hey, man, thanks for stopping by. If you sticked around till the end, you know, leave me a comment down below. Are you going to be picking this up? What was your favorite steelbook of the year? I know everybody's going to have their differences, but let me know down below what yours was. What else are you looking forward to? We're going to have some other videos coming soon on the channel. I'm getting a copy of the Paramount Screams box set, so I'm going to be unboxing that on the channel. We've also got, what else do we have? The Others on 4K from Criterion. I'm definitely looking forward to checking that out. It's a disc with no HDR, and I've heard that that actually does it well, and I really like The Others, so I do want to talk about that. I don't know if it'll be out on day release because I'll be doing the Paramount Scares that day, but I do want to cover it at some point. I do still have my Ghoulies review that is coming up, and I've got a couple more reviews before Halloween. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you like what we do here and you're looking forward to all of that. Check out my other 4K reviews. We've done a ton on the channel. Pumpkinhead, Megan, the Halloween trilogy on 4K, Steelbook. We did all of that. I'm going to link my 4K playlist for you at the end so you can kind of just go back and check those off the list. That's all I've got. Thanks for stopping by and watching my 4K review for The Wicker Man. I'm going to let you go now. Go like the video. Go share it with anybody you want to and watch all those other videos. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you guys in my next review.